Welcome to this next module in the Prime series. My name is Jasmita Saini and I'm your presenter today. Today's session is Module 2 of Acceleration, Your Business in Review. So first and foremost, what is acceleration and do you find yourself in this stage? Acceleration is the ramp-up stage, the stage where the business owner is transitioning from a startup to a more established business. You have at least 1 year of tax returns, preferably 2. You are profitable with healthy cash flows, and you have an established customer base. Oh, there we go. And you are refining your strategy and preparing for growth. The other modules in this stage include refining business strategy, this one, financial foundations, as well as marketing foundations and digital presence. So all of these are designed to help you move out of that startup phase and to start being a little bit more strategic with your next phase. And the goal here today is for you to learn things that you can review, but not necessarily to do the review itself. The idea is that you will take these ideas and tips and work with your SBDC consultant to design a review schedule that will work for you. So, in order to make sure that you can get to this kind of review in a timely manner and consistently, it is best to block it off on your calendar. If need be, you can break it up by seasons, function, or your business goal. So first, let's get started on looking back a little bit. How did your business do last year? If I were to ask you this question, what comes to mind immediately? So this is probably a good opportunity to grab some pen and paper or start a notes file so you can follow along with me. So if you're not sure how to answer this question, let's give you some context. Some things to consider include, what was the revenue and profitability like for the past year? You can use the last calendar years, you can use the last 12 months, whatever makes sense for you. So could you answer the question of what revenue has been over the last year and what was your profitability? Do you know what your costs are and your major expenses? How is your supply chain? Were your vendors reliable? Did you have any challenges with shipping? Did you have any concerns with getting enough of a product in time? What about your customer base? Has it grown, shrank, or stayed the same? What about your competitors? Do you know if more competitors have come into the market? How do you know how your other competitors are doing? And what about your staff and employees? Are they well engaged? Do you need to grow your staff? Do you need to trim your staff? Or do you need to consider some seasonal help? And are there any industry or market changes that may impact the future of your business? And of course, since each business owner's journey is unique, there might be some factors that are specific to you that I haven't considered. For example, did you expand to a new location? Did you get new equipment? Do you have a new loan on the books that you have to be aware of? So take a quick moment and see if you can answer all of these questions. So moving on to something a little bit more qualitative and moving away from the numbers. Thinking back to the last year, what kept you up in terms of running your business? What gave you some anxiety or made you worry about the future of your business, if there was anything at all? Or alternatively, what if what if solved today would make life easier? Is there something you wish you knew? Is there something you wish you had? Or is there a certain kind of staff member that you're looking for to help you fill in some of those gaps? And of course, hindsight is always 2020. What seems obvious today when you look back on the last year of operations? What do you wish you could go back and tell yourself in the beginning of that year? So keep some of these things in mind as you start putting together your customized review. So how often should you review your business? There's no right answer. It's really a matter of what is going to work for you and how often you can set dedicated time to this. So if you already have a schedule, is it working for you? If you don't have one, what are some things you can implement starting today? Are there things that you need to look at just once a year, once a quarter? Are there monthly tasks or weekly tasks that are not getting your full attention? Or are there daily tasks that need to be given priority? What metrics do you track, if any? Do you know what the common metrics are for your industry? How do you collect your data for some of these questions? And are you requesting or receiving any input from your staff or business partners as you conduct the review? And if needed, do you have a professional support team? So, for example, are you working with your bank or your credit union to understand what your financials look like? Do you have a loan on the books that you need to look into? Are you working with a lawyer on any upcoming deals or contracts? Do you need to review your insurance statements or check in with your payroll company on how everything is being processed? So if you needed a little bit more guidance on what business metrics to focus on, these are some starting points. First and foremost, it's a great idea to learn what your NAICS code is. That stands for North American Industry Classification System, and it is a way of organizing your business. If you don't know what your NAICS code is, you can usually check with your accountant for a business activity code, or you can do an online search with the type of industry you're in and the word NAICS code after it. So once you've identified that code, you can also do a keyword search to understand what are the top 5 metrics that others in your industry measure. More often than not, a lot of them are going to be the same, such as your revenue, your profit margins, cash flows, average order size if you're doing any kind of commerce or retail. You can also track customer satisfaction, and if needed, you can also track employee and staff satisfaction to see how that's contributing to your business's overall well-being. So what items should you include in your regular review, whether it's annual, quarterly, or monthly? So here are some things that I'm going to cover. You are welcome to take what resonates with you and what works for your business. So first and foremost, if you have a point of sale system, such as Clover, Square, Shopify, or Stripe, you can review that information to take a look at sales trends, average transaction value, and in some cases, your customers' behaviors, meaning how often are they purchasing, how much do they usually spend with you on a given order. If you use bookkeeping software, such as QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Xero, Wave, or Zoho, you can export reports and check for accuracy or missing data. Does your inventory level or your service contracts reflect what is in your bookkeeping? Do the numbers make sense to you? Are the costs aligned with what you thought you were spending? And then you can take all this information and review your financial statements, such as your profit and loss statement, your balance sheet, and your cash flows, which are extremely important. So you can gain a crucial understanding of where and when money is coming into your business and where and when money is going out of your business. Some of this is covered in a little bit more in depth in the next module, which is financial foundations. Continuing, some other things to take a look at are your business bank statements, credit card statements, and any account payables that may be due. Sometimes you might be signed up for a subscription or a service that your business no longer needs, but you're still paying for. So that's another great way to cut out extra costs and stay on top of your expenses. Take a look at your business bank statements to ensure that you are receiving your payments from your vendors, from your customers when you are supposed to, and your bank account balances out so you have enough on hand to cut your checks and to pay your staff as needed. So some other things to look for in these documents or statements are anything about your loans, about notes payable, any payment plans that you might have, or any bills that are due that are not set on auto pay. And be sure to reconcile your expenses, identify those that are recurring versus standalone, and make sure that you're able to pay on time. If this applies to you, you can also track your inventory levels and determine the turnover of your products. So this is you.
Excuse that interruption. So if applicable, you could also track your inventory levels and your turnover for your retail business or goods. So some of this information can be found in an inventory management system if you use one, or your point of sale systems. So some of the things that you're trying to identify are there any products that are selling well? What is stuck? What is stale, meaning it takes a long time to sell? And what items need to be restocked? Are you running out of your in-demand items before you're able to fulfill all of your orders? Or do you have a lot of extra items that are weighing down your business in terms of inventory costs and storage costs? So a point of sale system can really help you identify that. And if you're a services business, such as a restaurant or a salon or professional services, are there things that are a part of your offering that your customers are not interested in? Could you remove that and focus on higher traffic items? And if applicable, make sure you're auditing your payroll system. Some examples are ADP, Paychex, or Gusto. Ensure that wages, taxes, and contractor payments are current and accurate. Make sure that everything is being paid on time and to the right amounts. So all of this, especially the statements, the inventory, and the payroll, is to help you understand what cash you have on hand for when your obligations become due. On the marketing side of things, are you tracking any social media or website statistics? So some things you can use are Google Analytics, social media platform suites themselves, any customer relationship management software. And some of the things that you're looking for are you're reviewing the leads from your different sources of social media, you're looking at conversion rates, and you're looking at customer engagement. So this means, yes, you have a lot of followers on Facebook or on Instagram, but how many of them are coming to your website and actually making a purchase? And then, if applicable, staff engagement and performance. This could also be taking a look at their payroll statements, at any overtime records if they exist, and performance reviews if you complete those. The goal is for you to understand if your staff is performing adequately, if they have the tools they need to succeed, or if it's time to modify your workforce. That could mean adjusting schedules, hiring more staff members, or reducing staff count when you're not as busy. This can also give you insight into what your seasonal or fluctuating demands might be across the year. And of course, supply chain health. So this information can also be found in your inventory management system, your supplier contracts, taking a look at your cost of goods sold, your expenses, and any terms and conditions that you might have with your vendors. So this is to assess if your suppliers are still meeting your needs and if you can scale your orders or negotiate your terms. So what this means is if you were a smaller business when you started, but your sales volume has increased, can you go back and negotiate a better rate, such as a lower price, a larger discount for volume, or a later pay date? And also take time to determine if your supply chain is healthy, meaning are your vendors meeting your requirements? Are they still able to scale and grow with you as your business grows? Once you've determined the kinds of data you will collect and review for your business, the goal is to help you start identifying some trends. Are the revenue numbers and the profit margins performing as you expected? How have they changed over the last few years or the last few months? Are you trending upwards, downwards, steady, or does it fluctuate? Do you have an accurate assessment of cash obligations? Meaning, even if you're earning a lot of revenue, do you find yourself running out of money or being worried that you won't be able to make your tax payments or your vendor payments or any employee payroll? Do your sales fluctuate throughout the year, throughout the season, or even times of the day? For example, if you're expecting a lot of customers in the afternoon, but more of them are coming in the evening, right around closing, should you consider adjusting your service hours? Do you have some seasonality? Are you busier in the winter or the summer, or does it not matter for your line of work? Is there a distinct slow time or a slow season for you? And do you have data on how your customers are spending and how much they're spending with you? Meaning, if asked, could you identify who your top spenders are? Or could you identify customers who may be costing you money to service them? And moving on to your staff. Do you have top performing staff members? Are there those who do really well? And are there those who could benefit from more coaching? If there are any bottlenecks in your staff's performance, or if there's repeat issues across the board, could your staff benefit from a training manual or some sort of standard operating procedures or SOP? Do you have staff turnover or do you have good retention? And if, for example, you're hiring people seasonally, maybe for the summer, does some of that staff return to you year after year, or do you have to start over with a new batch every time? Do you know if your staff is satisfied in working with you and your company? Are you seeing returns on your marketing efforts? And are you satisfied with your suppliers? So, moving on from internal factors that are affecting your business, let's take a look at what is happening outside of your business and happening in your industry. So, as I asked earlier, if you don't know how to conduct industry research or identify market trends, hopefully these resources can help you get started. First, are you keeping up with industry news? If if you needed to, could you identify 3 items that are either positive or negative that could have an impact on your company in the coming months or coming year? Do you know your local municipality, the county, or the region that you're located in? Are there any local news, regulatory changes, or opportunities on the horizon that you should pay attention to? And if you don't know the answer to any of these questions, do you know where you can find this information? If not, your SBDC consultant is a great place to start. So for us here today, these are some suggestions I have for you. Start with your NAICS code, as mentioned earlier. So that is basically taking what your business type is, typing in the words NAICS code, and then searching for it. You can also do a keyword search. So for example, if you're an accountant specializing in high growth businesses, you can take a look at what some trends are in accounting. How often are people searching for a new accountant? How long do they stay with their current accountant? Are there industries that are underserved? If possible, there might be a trade association for your industry. So you can do the same search, type in your industry and put in trade association. You can also look at resources from the Small Business Administration, which is sba.gov, a great resource for news and resources. You can also take a look at any trade journals or magazines. And if you want something a little bit more current and less formal, you can take a look at industry blogs, sign up for newsletters, or listen to podcasts. That's what I do with a lot of my time. It's a really great way to fill up your drive time, especially if you find yourself on the road a lot. And if you are looking to find new customers or grow your own networks, you can join conventions, conferences, or expos. And of course, focus on professional networking opportunities, especially in your area. And if all else fails, reach out to your consultant for guidance. Oh, there we go. So finding local market resources. First and foremost, identify your local municipalities, your county or your region, and see if there is a municipality or a county economic development department. Usually you can type in your town name, your borough, your county, your region, and type in the words economic development department or economic development, and some sort of resource should come up for you. And of course, take a look at your local community centers. See if you can reach out to your local municipal government. The SPDCs again, any local chambers of commerce. And regarding SPDCs, within the state of Pennsylvania, all the SPDCs are based at a university. So sometimes your local consultant has connections to your local university research centers. And of course, don't overlook getting resources from your libraries, local libraries. Not only do they have a lot of magazines and trade publications that you can borrow, both in print and digital, librarians are also great resources. They are a wealth of knowledge and can help you find some information that you may not be aware of. So I'm going to use our SBDC as an example. We are based in the city of Bethlehem at Lehigh University. So our local municipality is City of Bethlehem, and we are in Northampton County. With a quick online search, I was able to find the local business development website for the City of Bethlehem, as well as a newsletter I can sign up for. And I was also able to find some resources through the Northampton County website. So that brings us to the end of our presentation today. Take a look through some of the items that you may have noted down for your checklist, and be sure to explore the other modules in this series. And for every module, take a look to see if there's any attached resources or a copy of the slides available to you. If you would like to stay in touch with us specifically at Lehigh, we can be found at these different locations. So thank you, and I hope to see you in the next module.